안녕하세요. 흰수염고래스포츠입니다. 축구 전문 매체 포포투에서 NG 포스테코글루 감독을 독점 인터뷰를 하고 이번 11호로에 잡지의 메인을 NG 감독을 내세우면서 화제가 되었는데요. 포포투 진행자와 NG 감독의 진지하고 심도 깊은 대화를 나눈 것을 함께 보시겠습니다. 양해를 부탁드리는 건 진행자의 질문을 고래가 대신해서 할 테니까 양해 부탁드립니다. 감독님, 먼저 물어보고 싶은 건 일주일도 지나지 않은 일인데요. NG볼이 무엇인지에 대한 분석이나 토론, 검증이 아니라 NG볼이라고 할 수 있는 뭔가가 정말 존재하나요? 아니면 그냥 사람들이 그렇게 말하는 건가요?
No, I think there's definitely, I'd like to think there's something there that we work on a weekly basis. It's not just random sort of events. But at the same time, it's what I love about football. It's kind of it's got its own life, and I often say to the players that what we do during the week and the information we give them is kind of preparing them for an exam. But like all exams, you don't know what the questions are going to be. So a game of football throws up things, but there is a structure. We try and allow players then to find solutions within that, and there are some disciplines that we need to have as a group for the sort of individuals to function within it.
감독님이 토트넘에 합류했을 때 할 일이 많으셨는데요. 그들과 잘 어울리면서 빠르게 팀을 모아야 했으니까요. 이 선수가 여기에 잘 맞는다 안 맞는다를 단번에 할 수 있는 선수들만의 개별 특성 같은 것들이 있었을까요?
Yeah, look, I mean, first I don't see them as players, they're people, and particularly when you get to this level, there are so many wonderfully talented footballers around the world. It's people talk about recruiting. It's pretty hard to get it wrong. They're all pretty good, but it's more about them the fit. Do they fit A into the football we want to play, and B, are they the kind of personality, character? And I think that's a big one for me, because the way we play, you need to have a certain mindset as an individual, as a person. To be brave, to want to sort of challenge yourself on a daily basis, and that's why, before we sign anyone, I kind of always have a little bit of a chat to the player, just to get a feel for the kind of person they are, and not pass judgment on them. Just think, do they really understand what's their motivation for coming to us? And I think it's an important part of what we do.
제가 맞다면 감독님은 현역 시절에 레프트백이셨는데요. 감독님이 추구하는 축구를 본인도 즐겼을 것 같나요?
I would enjoy the training because, I hated running, mate. Which is not great for a footballer. And don't look at me now. I was a decent runner. I was in decent shape. I was a fullback, that loved to get forward. But I could never understand why we used to run at training without the ball, just run for kilometres and kilometres, and I hated it. And I've taken that into my sort of coaching philosophy that everything we do at training is going to be around the way we want to play our football. And so I would have enjoyed training, but fair to say, as an inverted fullback, I'd be lacking a fair bit of the qualities needed. I probably would have ruled myself out.
그럼 질문을 좀 바꿔서 감독님이 지금 당신의 포스테코글루 선수를 본다면 어떨까요? 많이 뛰지 않는다고 생각할까요?
No, I enjoyed running in the game. I just didn't enjoy running sort of for no reason, and I still do it today. Like all my teams, you see the way we play. It's high energy, high tempo. We want to press, and that means a lot of running, and that means you've got to be really fit. So we work hard at training, but all of it is with the motivation of playing our football. So there's a reason we do it, and I come from an era where we didn't question those things. If somebody said to you, look, train today is a 10K run, well, we just go off and run. I mean, some of my coaches would have loved seeing all these woods and fields and just tell us to run till they can't see us anymore. But that wasn't the point for me, and that's why I've tried to take into my sort of coaching and management style, is to give people a reason to do what I want them to do.
발음이 맞는지 모르겠어서 먼저 사과부터 하겠습니다. 그리스 단어를 하나 봤는데 카티발라라고 하는 거 맞나요?
Yeah, that was
wrong. It's
yeah.
wrong.
No. It's close. It's good. It's what my father used to tell me all the time, right? Gettyimagekorea, which means
That's close.
yeah, you were
So,
close.
all
Not
right.
bad. It just means keep the ball on the deck. Keep the ball on the ground. He just said to that was his philosophy around football, was that if the ball's on the grass, that's when the magic happens. Why you've got to kick it long and put the ball in the air, and that was constantly a phrase he'd tell me, even when I'd already sort of established myself as a manager. That's the only piece of advice they'd constantly give me.
Was it sort of like, does it go sort of beyond being a football mentality? 'Cause I'm sure I read somewhere that it's actually got like a slightly deeper meaning to it. Like it's a good way of sort of approaching life. Just like try and keep it simple and do your best work.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, football's kind of been the conduit to everything meaningful in my life. All my relationships have stemmed from the game. Obviously, my career is sort of entwined with the game, and I use it as a metaphor for life. You know, we train every day as if we feel lucky to be doing what we're doing, and I treat life the same way. I don't take it for granted. You know, I want to try and achieve things that haven't been achieved before in my professional life, and I want to take that into my personal life and try and live every day to its fullest with my family. And so there is a synergy there, and I think that helps because ultimately, when I talk to a group of players wherever I've been, I think the one thing they come away from is that what I say, I mean. It's me. It's genuine. I'm not saying it just to get a reaction or because I'd heard somebody else say it. When I talk to them, from deep inside me, so they know that that's me saying those words.
가족과 스스로를 위해 뭔가를 이루고 싶다고 하셨는데 현재 맞는 곳에 있다고 느끼시나요? 현재 클럽에서 이루시려고 하는 것을 이룰 수 있을까요?
I think I've done it my whole career, mate. I've never felt the need to sort of validate it because I hadn't done it at a level people think you need to do it. All the football clubs I've been at, I can comfortably say, if I go back there, I'll be welcome back because I've made an impact, and this is another opportunity to do that. Again, obviously one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the major competition in the world, so I get that, there's more of an emphasis around it, but, everywhere I've been, I've tried to do the same thing, is leave a mark, and so far wherever I've been, I've done that.
Like it's been difficult. It has been different to settle in this job as it has been to others, or have you done largely the same things?
No, it's pretty much the same, mate. Every club that I've been has kind of been a different challenge. Don't get me wrong, but the way I go about it is pretty much the same. Is to come in and as quickly as possible. Try and gain the trust of all the people involved, players, staff, the supporters, everyone involved with the football club. How quickly can I get them to believe in me? Because that's where it kind of begins and ends, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if people don't really resonate or believe in you, mate, it's a lost cause. So, everywhere I've gone, that's always been my major sort of priority and focus at the beginning is, get people to believe in me, and then the rest will come.
그럼 특별히 토트넘에서는 어떠셨나요? 같이 일하기 편하셨나요?
Not dissimilar to in the past, because again, there's been a kind of, consistent pattern in that I've always gone into clubs after, some pretty disappointing times, which, and for the most part, people are looking for something in that moment. It's about sort of me trying to, whatever sort of dark cloud may be over the place to try and lift that, and it's been no different here. The players have been outstanding. The staff have been brilliant. We've obviously brought new staff in as well, which has helped, I think, because you do have to change things. You just can't go in, even though I've pretty much go in on my own, is to still bring some new faces into the environment. And everyone at the club's been great. Just sort of in at least having an open mind to listen. That's all you can ask for. You can't just expect people to follow you from the first day when you say what you want to do. If you're prepared to listen, then you've got a sort of a starting point for everything you want to do.
그럼 마지막 질문입니다. 아직 시즌 초반이지만 성적이 아주 좋은데 어디까지 올라갈 수 있을 것 같으세요?
Why would I bother putting a limit on it? That's just, again, when I started 26 years ago, if somebody said to you, even yourself, you probably were 5 at the time, but anyway, somebody a bit older, this bloke's going to end up managing one of the biggest clubs in the world after managing one of the most famous clubs in the world, and he's going to have all this success. You put have said, nah, that ain't going to happen. That's a Hollywood script. So I've kind of learnt in my life not to put a limit on where I'm going to end up. I'm not going to put a limit on what this football club can do.
Well, thank you so much for ballparking me around 30.
Good man. Thank you,
Thanks very
mate.
much.
That's all right.
와, 어쩌면 팬들이 가장 궁금해하고 듣고 싶었던 얘기를 엔지 감독이 해준 것 같은데요. 분명 질문은 우승에 대한 뉘앙스였고 엔지 감독은 우승이라는 단어 하나 없는 말이었지만 오히려 한계를 두고 싶지 않다면서 아시안컵 우승, 요코하마 셀틱을 우승시켰듯이 더 높은 곳을 바라보고 있다는 것은 확실히 느껴집니다. 네. 너무 진중해서 흥미로운 NG 감독의 매력에 계속 푹 빠질 수 있기를 응원해 보겠습니다. 이상 흰수염고래였습니다. 감사합니다.